Is calling for a boycott on broadcasters like a TV show or a radio show, is it un-American? Here's what Bill O'Reilly had to say about that.
Now some Americans are calling for firings, boycotts, and in one absurd case, criminal prosecution, all for speech they don't like. We want a vibrant America. We want free speech all over the place. But when that speech turns irresponsible, the marketplace should dictate, not pressure groups armed with threats.
Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate on this is comedian and columnist Scott Blakeman and partner at Mislansky, Luntz & Partners, Keith Yazmir. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Okay, let me start with you, Scott. Is calling for a boycott squelching free speech or an example of free speech?
I think a call for organized boycotts where the ultimate goal is to cancel a show, yes, that has a chilling effect on free speech. As an entertainer, myself, like Rush Limbaugh, and I condemn what Rush Limbaugh said. It was hateful, mean. We don't have enough time in this segment to say how horrible I thought it was. But once you start suppressing speech that you hate, well, the whole test of free speech is to give the right for people to speak whose speech you do hate. Sure,
and as a comedian, I'm sure that you may say some provocative or offensive things from time to time, and you want the ability to say that. What do you think? Is this boycotting, does it somehow have a chilling effect on free speech?
It may have an impact on what people say, but it's certainly not a chilling effect on free speech. This is actually an extension of the right to say what you want, because they're calling for a boycott. So how would them calling for a boycott be contradictory? The Boston Tea Party, the fundamental American event, was an economic boycott.
But having said that, isn't the most democratic thing to vote with your clicker? I mean, a broadcaster, you can turn them off. You can change the channel. Isn't that how we decide if we like what we're hearing?
Absolutely. Now, there's a difference between personal things. Like, you could say, as you say, turn off the show, I don't like it. Or you could say, I don't like the fact that this advertises on that show, I won't buy it. But once you start saying the goal is to shut down speech, it cuts both ways, the left and the right. Now, for example, 10 years ago, Bill Maher was canceled. He made a controversial statement. I'm a friend of Bill Maher. I think he's very funny, very smart. Some people think the opposite. He was thrown off the air because of that. David Letterman, 3 years ago, there was an attempted unsuccessful boycott because of some Sarah Palin jokes. Yeah. It cuts both ways, and what will happen is it really, as I said, has a chilling effect on free speech.
What about that, Keith?
Well, I think your last point about Letterman, it was an attempted boycott. This is a battle of narratives. And actually, us sitting on this couch is a continuation of the narrative that started with Rush Limbaugh's commentary. It went from Obama administration saying this about health care coverage to his opponent saying this about religious liberty, to it's about morality, to Rush, who says it's about promiscuity. Now, that continues into us talking about, well, it's about free speech and the ability to talk about these things. Yeah. What matters in the end is what narrative takes hold. So I have the right to go out and put my narrative out there, and frankly, this narrative about free speech isn't taking hold. The narrative that's taking hold is women's rights, and the polls show that.
If people were calling upon you to be fired for something that you said, isn't that a chilling effect rather than just your free speech?
It's a horribly chilling effect for me, but everyone has a right to say what they think, and they can call the show afterwards and say, never have that guy on the couch again, and that's fine. The Constitution guarantees Rush or our ability to say anything we want. It does not guarantee us to have the bully pulpit of having our own radio show or TV show on which to say it.